Hi everyone, we are going to make a iron bag today. I have all the pieces cut. They are all the design and everything is in the pattern. I'll have a link for you that you can go and get that pattern for yourself. I have them all cut out ready to go, and I'm going to show you the steps. Now I'm making mine out of faux leather. I have front and a back already done, or top and bottom, and I have a insulbright, which is a product to help with heat, and I have a wadding there to protect as well. I'm putting those on the back of the top and the bottom of the iron bag. Then I have the strip that goes around, and I'm going to do the same thing, so I'm going to place that on top, and then the wadding on top and down. And then I'm going to place the lining on top of this. Okay, lining on top of this one. Those two are now ready. This here is the handle, and before we go ahead with this one, I'm going to attach the handle to it. The first thing I want to do is fold those sides in just like that, get a few clips and just clip them down. Like I say, the sizes are in the pattern. I do try and keep my patterns fairly reasonable cost, and we are going to top stitch either side of that and attach it on our bag top like that. You can attach it that way too if you like. You just need to cut it a little bit shorter, but we'll do that in a second. I'm going to first get my machine ready. I have the other lining for this. Once we've put the top on here, then I'll put the lining on just like this one, and we're going to quilt them. So let me get the machine ready and I'll take you in to do the top stitching. Okay, so I have my foot on. Now I'm using a teflon foot on this machine. You can get those for your standard everyday domestic machine as well. They normally are like a white plastic color. Just threading my machine while I'm talking. Okay, oops a days, a bit caught up. Come on. Thank you. Okay, so I've got my stitch length on around about, probably around about 4, and I'm going to just put the needle down and do a front and back stitch and stitch along that edge of that fold. I've probably got it folded around about 1/8, a little bit more than 1/8 from the edge, just so the edge is not on the actual fold. And this will be the underside. Now you can turn it. Lift and do it about even the other side. I'm using the foot as a guide. And I'm going to, right on that edge, just turn and do some back stitching. And then lift the foot and cut that thread off. Right up nice and close. I don't have my little snips with me. I've only got these squeezy ones. Daughter loves to come and play on my machine occasionally, which I love, but my things go missing. So I've got that now top stitched, ready to go for the next step. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to clip these other ones that have the 4 layers. So I'm saying 4 because you've got the 2 lots of one insulbright and one wadding. It's a very fine wadding. It's not very thick. It's just enough to help the heat from getting to the vinyl. Now I'm going to turn it over. Beautifully with this one, I've got some crosshatch lines, so I'm going to follow the one in the middle and just do, I might do every second so I'm not here forever, and I'll start on the side, and I've still got a top stitch of 4, and I'm going to just go from one side to the other. Now with faux leather, if you do make the top stitch or any stitches too small, you can create like a perforation, so just be careful not to do that. You don't want it cutting through. I'm just going along the edge here to the second one. I'm going to go up here. And I'm going to repeat this, go up the side. I'm going to repeat this for that long strip which goes around the center. Oops, the day's come off. And just come up to that center one, the second one, sorry, my bad. And around. And those clips just help to not have that lining move too much. And I'm going to go right up to the top and start the second way. So I have the second line, the one going across. So I'm basically stitching almost around the outside at the same time. It just helps to keep it stabilized. If you find that you want to do closer, you can. Either. But I will go all the way around and make sure that it's right. So I'll go down to the second one. That's if doing this process doesn't automatically get me going all the way around. So I've come to the second one, the crosshatch along here. And like I said, I will do the other ones off camera. And I do have to do the ones going this way. I've got one to do across here, which I'll do when I get closer. Which works for right now. It's going to be that one there. And the next one going this way is going to be right near it. Come across, and I can see I need to do that little bit in the corner there, but I will go all the way around and get that when I come back. So I'm just going all the way around here just to help hold it. Sort of works like a basting stitch. When you come up to the top, because it's curved, you might have to pick up your foot and just slowly stitch around that corner there a little. There we go. Just make sure I got them all. 1, 2. I might have missed one there. I might have done a second one there. I might go and do that one. Just come back, just pulling that out to come back over here. I'll trim that off in a minute. All right, I'm pretty much right there. I can lift my foot. Oops, take that out and trim off any excess threads that are going to be in the way. These are really blunt. I need to get the other ones. Come on. There we go. You might miss a little bit of the aligning. Don't stress, we'll catch that in the next one, but I'm going to repeat that process. Like I say, you can do every crosshatch. I've done every second, but it's entirely up to you. That will flatten out as we go, and I'll do those off camera and we will be right back. Okay, they're both sewn. They're quilted. So you have the top or bottom, but actually that's the bottom, and the side, that's all quilted. You can see on the other side it's been quilted. And we're ready to mark this. Now, we need to mark this top one, which is where the handle's going to go. We need to mark that around about, let's go, probably 1.5 inches, and we need to find the center. So I'm going to get a clip. So this should measure around about 4 3/4. So easiest way to do it, because my maths is not great, is to, I'll just take these off for a minute, is to fold it. Okay, you can snip it just like that, little tiny snip, and that'll give you the center. And then you take your tape measure, that's my center. I'm going to measure 1.5 inches up and put a dot, a permanent marker there. That is my placement for the bottom. So this I need to just trim. I'll get my other scissors for that. These ones, no wonder they're blunt. Bear with me. Okay, so I've just trimmed them off with proper scissors just so that they're nice and even on the ends. I am going to stitch over that, but I'm placing that there. And the other one is going to be about the same. So I might even go 1 inch from there. I think 1 inch from the bottom. Just gives it a little bit more. We'll go 1 inch from this end, excuse me, and I do need to find the center of that. Again, you can clip that, just a tiny clip, just so we know where the center is. I've got a tiny little mark off there. Just come 1 inch, I nearly said a meter then. Come in 1 inch from there and put a dot. Your permanent marker. I'm not worried about that dot, it will get covered by the handle. Okay, so we're going to place the center of the handle there and the center of the handle just over that dot there. We will be flattening, that will flatten out like that. Eventually, it'll take a little bit, but it will flatten out as we go. If you want it smaller, you can make it smaller. Personally, I don't mind if it's a little bit higher, but yeah, we're going to give that a stitch down. So to get that to stay in place, we need some wash away tape. Oh, it's a bit dusty. So we'll get some wash away tape and 2 small bits. One there. One there. Just make sure that sticks. If you need to heat it up with your fingers, you can heat it up with your fingers just to make sure it sticks. Take the paper off either one. Come on. I'll get a different one because that one's not working, so I'll try again. One that's a bit tackier. Sometimes they get fluff and hair on them, or cotton threads and stuff like that. They tend to lose their tackiness. Yeah, got it. Alright, so I've put 2 little bits there, and with the wrong side facing down, which is the one with the edge, the fold over, we're going to just place that there in the center, and we're going to do the same on this side in a minute. I'm just going to Sit that down. That's where they're going to go. Okay. All right. Oh, that's okay. Might take that one off and pop it on the handle. We've got them marked. So, just going to pop that on there. We're now ready to quilt. So you will place your bag top over. And I've got the insulbright, the one you don't have to have if you don't want to. I'm using it in this case, and then lining, and we're going to clip around this and quilt that, and then I'm going to place the handle on. Now I've measured it out and everything. I can trim up those rough bits at the end when I finish. And then we're going to put the handle on. It's got its tape on, it's got the markings ready. So we are going to stitch this out and yeah, come back and I'll do the handle. Oh, won't be a second. Okay, so all quilted. We're going to pop that on top. I'm lining up the center there. I'm going to stitch this one in a square around about an inch or so deep. This is a lot thicker than normal, so go slow. Oops, it does. The thread came unthreaded. Just love this little tool. They are so good. All right. Go back to the start, needle down. I'm sort of eyeballing it a little. We'll go across. Turn it around. Now I would go around this one probably a couple of times and even do a cross in the center just so we know that it is not coming undone. So I've gone around once, going to do a cross in the center, straight across from one corner. One more stitch and then around to the other. And then back along the base of it and do a bit of a back stitch as well. And needle up, bring that out, trim it off, trim off underneath, and we're going to turn it around. That'll give that a good strong handle, and I am centering it up here. I've got the tape on that, just temporarily hold it, and I'm putting it in the center best I can. There's my center, and the first stitch I'm going to do is across there, and I'm using the stitch lines from when we stitched down the handle originally as my guide. Okay, then up to the other corner. Oops, daisy, go backwards. Across. And then over to the other corner. and then back and forwards on that bottom one a couple of times, middle up, and cut off that little bit of thread there. Okie dokie, so my handle is now on, and we are ready for the next step. So I'm going to get my scissors and just trim off the excess along these. Some of them are a little bit messy looking, so I'm just going to take that off there. It should come in the seam. Just a little bit of a trim, just tidy up. Just tidying up a bit of that. Okay, so the next step is to actually put the base and this one around to each other. All right, so we are going to do that. First things first, we are going to take right sides together and sew that as a seam across there, and then we're going to bind that little seam to cover it up. So we'll do that now. So 1/4 inch seam, and trim. Now I'm going to get a bit of my binding and it'll cover that. That's no big deal. We're going to pop on, I'm going to trim that a little. Where's my seam? There it is. Just trim it a little, rid of the excess. And I'm going to place this on this way and trim that off. Okay, got that trimmed. And we're going to fold that over, flatten it out like that, just flatten it right out. Don't even worry about doing this thing, we're just going to flatten it out. And we're going to top stitch. Now I do have white thread in my machine. I'm going to leave it for now. I'm not really going to stress over it too much. I mean, it really doesn't matter for me because this is my sample. You can do a decorative stitch on either side so that it looks nice and professional. So one on that side, and oh, come on thread, one on the other. Okay, just grab that thread. I don't want it to come undone again on me. Sometimes if I cut it too short, it springs back up. There we go. Okay. Just trim that first. from under there. And I'm going to come along with these big scissors and just trim off that excess there, making it even. And over to my bits and pieces. And now on that side it's right to go, it's right on that side. And we're ready to place that in the middle of these two. All right, so let me get myself ready and get my clips organized, and I'll show you how to pin those 3 layers together, starting at the bottom and working our way to the top. Okay, thinking about it, I think we're going to put the zipper on. So let's do the zipper on these 2 parts and then we'll get moving. Okay, so I've got my zipper, and first things first, I'm going to attach it to my top. So we're going to attach from this corner and clip it all the way along there. You can do zipper tape if you like. Clips will do just fine. And when you get to these little corners here, you're going to need to snip them. The zipper, I don't know if that will work, so we use these big ones. That's a bit of an overkill, but it'll do the job. Oh, probably about half an inch, quarter of an inch away from each other. I'm just going to snip a little bit along because I want it to go around here and around that side. So we're just going to clip, turn it, clip, turn it, clip, and go down the other side, all the way to the other end. This zip is a little bit long, but I'll trim that off. Okay, we're going to stitch all the way around there. Pop that aside for a second. And this, either, whether you turn it that way or that way, this goes onto the base. So pop the base aside for now. And from here, right side facing, like that, you need to find your base. So I'm going to place that in center here, just like that. I'm going to put a clip on this side where it finishes, and a clip on that side where it finishes, like that. And that tells me I've got to put the zipper from there and there, all the way around here, right side facing, upside down, like that. That is my start point, which is here. Now, you could put a pin if you wanted to, or you could mark your fabric. So I'm going to just put a dot there and a dot on this side. That'll go into the seam, and that will give me my spot of start and stop. So I'm going to go around here, all the way around. Till I get to the other side. And this one I don't need to snip to get into any corners because it is straight. And that one there. Okay, so I'm going to stitch around the top of that one and the top of that one, putting the zipper on, and we'll get to that now. Just move some stuff out of the way. Again, I have white thread on. You would change to black. Use a zipper foot. When you get to these corners, they can get a little bit tricky. Pretty easy up until there. This is where you'll need to sort of hold it down, do a couple of stitches around, lift the foot, move it around, a couple of stitches, lift and move, and you'll go like that the whole way around that corner. And then you'll come across to the other side and you'll do the same thing. A couple of stitches, turn, go back one, and then turn, turn, and we'll keep going along there. Okay, so you've got the top one on, snip off your threads, then you're going to turn it so the zipper faces out, so turn it over, and you're going to top stitch along here, and the top stitch again needs to be at a number 4 or 4.5. Whatever, you can use clips to help you hold it in place, whatever suits, just to hold it down so that the zipper sits downwards. And sometimes I have to put my foot on it just to hold it down. Once I've got it in place, it'll just sort of sit down. There we go. It's a bit better. So turn that over. Put some clips in just to hold it down. And again, when you come to that corner, you're going to need to, you're going to need to lift and turn as you go. Just holding that there, hold that there, and around here. We'll be trying to keep that zipper out of the way. And turn it under as we go. It gets a little bulky here, so just go slow and steady. Alrighty, so let's do that now. Thread there. 1/8 of an inch from the edge, just to help stitch that down. Just make sure you don't stitch your zipper into it. Make sure your zipper is facing down. It might have caught a little bit. Very hard to keep your stitch even, just FYI. But just take it slow, probably a bit slower than me. I'm trying to speed up a little so that it doesn't take you, so you're not watching me do boring stuff. And that should have that zipper down. Now if you wanted to, you could bind across here too. That would also make a nice finish to it, so you could actually get your binding go in, and you would do that before you top stitch. For me, for a sample, this is fine. I might make another one and do that, but for now that is fine. But yeah, you can actually put the binding there so it binds all the way around, and that can work out really nice too. So that is done. And we're going to work on this one. Now this one we're going to work on one side. Got my little mark there so I know where to put my needle. There it is. What I'm looking for is that end mark, which is pretty much where my pointer finger is right now. I'm going to go up to there and stop and go backwards. Okay. Turn that off. Now, again, you can bind that if you want to, or you can turn it under and top stitch around. This one I'm going to bind. I'm thinking that'll look nicer. Comme ça. Alright, so we've got that there. You can top stitch that down, lay it down. It is harder because you do have a bit of bulk. I'll just top stitch it for now. If you want to put binding on it, please feel free to do so. For this, I'm going to put in just a top stitch. About there. Just trying to make sure that the zipper is under. Okay, kind of around that. Like I say, if you want it a little bit neater than that, you will need to do the binding thing. I think that'll be fine. I'm going to bind the outside edge when I've finished. Okay, now let us put the zipper on, but let's do it after we put this top on. I think it'll be easier. This is my first time assembling, so bear with me while I struggle a little. Come on, little thread, work. There we go. I'm thinking actually if we put this top on, the zipper might go on easier. So I'm going to go on the inside. I'm going to go right sides facing together, and then we can put the binding on the inside. Okay. And let's finish this stitch. When we go across from here to here in that section, let's make sure that the we are stopping 1/4 of an inch away from that, like at that zipper edge, so that we don't stitch that in. I'm going to clip that in here and give yourself a good seam, not too light. It's going to be easier to do it from this way, and I can see the zipper. So I reckon that needs to probably come over a fraction, but I can always fix that zipper up. Let's go from here. Okay, this won't like it because it's so big. I'm going to get in under here and then work my way back. If you're doing this on a standard machine, you might definitely, well, I won't say might, you will definitely need your walking foot at this point. Just going to make sure that that is not too far over. And stitch back down to number 3 for this one. Foot down, needle down. A couple of stitches and back stitch. And let's go along here. This won't actually interfere with our zipper usage or mechanisms. Alright. Okie dokie. We're pretty good. Alright, let's do the binding on this. Probably could have gone a little bit further with that zipper. So this zipper here, it needs to go right up to that edge there. So I'm just going to come in there and pop a few stitches in there just so it doesn't come undone. And there we go. There we go. Okay. A little bit lumpy here. Just trying to maneuver. And we're going to go backwards. So let's see if we can get this to move it back a bit. There we go. So when you're doing yours, just make sure you have that zipper stitched right up to the edge of that flap, the lid flap. And I'm going to go in stitch across here a little bit more. It's a little bit open. See that opening there? It's a little bit open. We need to close that. So I'm going to move everything out of the way and get a little closer. Which might go, I think I went that way, yep. And get a little bit closer. Smooth these out of the way. And I can see what I'm doing. And right up to there. Hopefully I didn't go too far then. Should be alright. Yeah, all good. Okay, so it is sewn on, ready to go. And we're going to put the zipper on now, the zipper head I should say. And line up one side of it. It can be a little bit difficult because we've got that on. Okay. And cut them even. You can have 1 or 2 zipper heads. I'm just going to put one on for now. Oops, it is upside down, Miss Jane. need it to go that way. Sorry. Just having a bit of a fight with it. There we go. So I want the two zipper ends to be wrong sides facing. It's fighting me. Hang on. There we go. But when you open them out, they are teeth together like that. So we want those two ends to go on. Place your zipper in, that to come in on an angle. If you can. There we go. That's more right. Came out. Because I didn't leave myself much, I should have worked from the other side, shouldn't I? There we go. Once you've got that on, it's a matter of just putting a bit of beef into it. Bit of muscle, which I don't have. There we go. Okay, got the zipper up. We need to move that zipper end into the wrong side. So turn it out the wrong way and just open that end a little so you can sort of stick it through. Feed it through the other side. There we go. We want it on the inside. There we go. There we go. We want it on the inside. Okay. Now once we've got that on, okay, and the zipper on, the zipper is up as far as I can go. I'm going to now put them into that binding so they'll get trimmed off and they'll go in that binding across there. Now that zipper's going to have to come out of the way. Push that up like that. And we're going to chop them off. Right, level and level. Get a bit of binding. And we are going to stitch on one side here, then turn it over, or the other way around, whichever one suits. You can clip them if you want to, but you'll probably find they will just sit in nicely. You can clip them over. And same with that side. Just clip them over, push them over, get them into that seam. There. You can stitch over them now if you want to hold them down, or wait and put your binding on. Give yourself a bit of extra room with your binding. That one and that one. And that one there. And there. I'm going to stitch across there, fold it over and top stitch. This is where it gets heavy. There's a lot of stuff here. My foot won't quite lift up like domestic will. So it can be a little bit awkward for me to get in there. Sometimes I've got to give it a wiggle. Okay, let's put the needle down, down, and let's just go halfway across, and then I'll turn it around and do the other side. Might be easier than trying to get it to do something it doesn't want to. So I'm going to go right across best as I can and back stitch at the end. Then I'll lift it, turn it, and come around the other side. Maybe. down. Might be a little bit messy, but I'm getting there. Alrighty. We want those in. So let's try and stitch them in. Let's try and get that out. And then we're going to fold it over to the other side and top stitch it down. I might have to cut off a bit of your excess. Threads everywhere. Let's cut off some of that bulk there. Not your binding, by the way, don't cut your binding. Just some of the bulk. And that way you can turn it over. Okay, so it's going to go like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold those ends in. So that one's not too bad. I'll trim a little bit off it, and this one needs to have quite a bit. I only want about 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch on the end, like that. So tuck that side in. Like that, tuck it, so it goes under. Just clip it. And again, this side, tuck in and over. Make sure that goes in. And clip it. You can hand sew if you like, or you can machine sew. I'm going to give it a burl. It might carry on because it's so thick there, but we'll see how we go. Just get a couple extra clips to hold in place while I'm doing this. Just go slow at this point because it is very thick. The last thing you want is snapping needles and breaking machines. Just get my tweezers out just to help hold this end bit here. Okay. All right. Got it. Trim. Okay. Oops. Trim that. Okay, so give that a bit of a push out, push that out. Okay, and we've got the top on. Now we need to pin the bottom on, and we are also going to do some binding on this, or you can just top stitch, or whatever you like really, to be honest. You're going to need to do it this way, so right sides together, so fold that in. Place that in there, level it up with the other one and clip in place, and only sew 1/4 from the end of each side. So sew up to about 1/4 inch here and here, and you're going to have a little bit of bulk with that turnover, there. Just go slow and steady, but do that one first. You're going to need to push it out of the way. Like I say, sometimes it works better to come off. Just take that one out. The side and work backwards to get your foot in. So let's go across. And don't forget to back stitch. Okay, you got that one on. Now you want to do the sides. So you've left yourself a little bit of a turn and you are clipping, as in clips, the side all the way around from one end to the other. When you get to the edge that's got to go around the top, you might need to clip, as in snip, your faux leather. So just clip it up to the, on the straight sides just for now. Clip that on. Clip that on. Clip that on. And when you come up to this top bit, get that pleather and just with your scissors, just give it a little snip. Not too far in, just enough to help it spread and go around those corners a little. Because if you do remember, I did stitch all the way around. That'll stop it from stretching. All right. And push that in a little, make it fit. Bit of manipulating going on. Okay. Now we're going to stitch all the way around that, this from here all the way around, and then you can put your binding on. So to do that, I'm going to turn it this way and start from this flat end, and I'm starting about 1/4 inch in from the side, from the end of it. So again, I'm going to manipulate this a little because my foot doesn't want to lift that high. Oops, it is. Try again. Make sure I'm in, and a couple of stitches, and then go backwards, and I want to work up to that 1/4 inch mark, and back. There we go. Now we can just go around here. Make sure you catch both sides. We can trim off the excess. I'll stress about the excess for now. And as you get up to that corner, it is going to get a bit testy, and you are going to be doing a bit of stop and starting. Just keep that bottom of your bag out of the way. again, stopping about 1/4 inch from the edge. And just make sure before you turn it right way out that you've got all those seams in. I might have missed one there, but it's close. You just want to double check that, so when you turn it right way out, you haven't got a missed seam. So what we can do now is put the binding on. You'll need to clip. Again, it's a double stitch process, so you can either, or you can just fold it over and clip it and hope you get both sides at the one time. That can be a little bit messy, especially when you come to corners. It can be a little bit messy, or you sew one side on all the way around and then you fold it over and stitch it again. As this is a demo, I'm not really going to worry too much about it, because this is my demo piece. I want to see how it works out. So I missed a little bit on that corner, which I've had a feeling I had. So I'm just going to come up and do this corner bit again. Can be very tricky getting around those edges. I'm more worried about that than I'm binding it. So I'm coming in a little bit closer than I did last time, like inside, a bit bigger seam than last time. And that will help make sure it stays. See what that did, if anything. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so let's turn it out the right way. I haven't done the binding, as you know, but you get the gist of it. Binding is something you can do later. Put that zipper on properly. I hope I did. You might find that if you did the binding, or you top stitch those down like a French seam, that will help keep those standing up, which might be nice too. So that's another option as well. The binding will help that stand up. And there you go. She's done. But I reckon I can do it again, and I can do it better next time around. Being my first one of doing one of these in this type of shape, and with this pleather, so this is like vinyl, was a little tricky. Also with the extra wadding in there, also a little tricky. It does fit the small birch irons in it. You can make it bigger and fit a larger iron in it, but like I said, binding will help make it neat and tidy, and you can just make it bigger by adding inches on. And the other option is that top stitch thing. So you could top stitch just along here, that bottom bit. You don't have to top stitch the back end, and that will also make the sides stand up more. So, and it can also cover in. It becomes like a French seam. Again, very thick with the faux leather, but I think it looks cool. I might give it a go. Hey, let's do that. Let's give it a go and see what happens. Move some stuff out of the way. Set the machine at number 4, which is a top stitch. And I'm going to start from that corner. I'm just going to pinch that. I'm going to stitch a 1/4 inch all the way around. Or yeah, 1/4 inch. And just try and keep that seam centered. So again, being faux leather, she might not let me go underneath there. No, it's definitely not. No, I need a walking foot on a traditional machine, and that would do it. So no, not with the faux leather, I'm afraid. It would be binding, and that will help it stand upright. And when you do the binding, you go all the way around the inside, all the way around that, and that will encase that and keep it nice and neat. And will also help any seams from coming undone. So that is your other option. Okay, So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, there will be another video eventually. I will try again with this one. Maybe might even adjust the shape a little bit and see how that goes. And yeah, I did enjoy that. That lining is from my range. That's the green marble, and the faux leather is the double crosshatch, and that is a mint colour, sort of very light mint colour. And yeah, so, and the zippers I also have online. They are number 5 zippers and zipper heads. Of course, we've got so many zipper heads. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and enjoy your day. See ya.